You can't build a business based on what you wish other people would do better. This is all about the 19-week problem that's killing estate agencies. But here's the problem. Waiting 19 weeks on average to get paid. That's nearly 5 months. And here's a scary point. Okay, so this is video number 4. Or is it 5? Because I'm losing count. Nope, I think it's 4. Let's do first take. And you can't build a business based on what you wish other people would do better. This is all about the 19-week problem that's killing estate agencies. Estate agents love blaming conveyancers. They're too slow, they don't communicate, they hold everything up. And don't get me wrong, that frustration is real. But here's the problem. You can't build a business based on what you wish other people would do better. So instead of asking why are conveyancers so slow, there's a better question. What can we actually do about it? Because this isn't just frustrating. This is a business problem, and a serious one at that. Once upon a time, I used to turn my pipeline 4 times a year. Now most agents are running at about 2.5 to 2.7 times a year. On the surface, you're still doing the same number of deals. You're still earning the same fees. But under the surface, it's killing your business because your pipeline has to get bigger just to stand still. More deals, more clients, more chasing, more problems, more time, more stress, more complexity. And that all comes at a cost. And there's another issue, cash flow. You're now waiting 19 weeks on average to get paid. That's nearly 5 months. Let me put that into context. Today's date is the 8th of May, 2026. If you're instructed today, and let's say it takes around 4 weeks for you to find a buyer, quite a reasonable timescale, and then 19 weeks for the sale to go through, which means the client actually moves around the 16th of October. That's over 5 months from instruction to completion. And here's a scary point. That's an average, which means 50% of sales take even longer than that. And I'm not sure that clients fully appreciate this when they instruct us. I think it would be a really useful exercise every time you go on an instruction to actually calculate based on averages when their likely move date is. And in the meantime, you're effectively funding that process. This is often why agents say, we're busy, but the bank balance doesn't reflect it, because busy is not the same as productive. Let's walk through what actually happens. You put a property on the market, takes a couple of weeks to find a buyer. Great, you agree a sale. Then you send out the sales memorandum, and then what happens? Well, the buyer's solicitor hasn't even heard of the buyer, doesn't know who they are. They're waiting for instructions, waiting for confirmation, waiting for paperwork. Eventually things start to get moving, and then the TA forms go out, and the seller spends weeks looking for documents, going through the loft, going through that drawer in the kitchen, trying to find paperwork, trying to piece together all the different bits of information. So the buyer's solicitor gets nothing meaningful for 4 to 6 weeks, and then we wonder why it's slow. From the buyer's solicitor's point of view, nothing has happened. They've had a memo and then silence. So urgency drops, momentum disappears, the whole thing slows down. There's no urgency left in the sale. So what can we control? And I love this term, sale ready. When you put a property on the market, it should be ready to go sale agreed immediately. Even in the first week, What does sale ready actually look like? That means TA forms completed up front, solicitors instructed early, contract pack being prepared before you've ever found a buyer. And I know what you're thinking. Some sellers don't want to spend the money up front. But let's be honest. If they intend to move, they will have to pay it at some point. So the real question is, when do you want to pay it? Up front to create momentum, or later and slow everything down? And this tells you something about the client. Are they serious? Are they committed? Or are they just testing the market? So imagine the impact. You agree a sale, you send the memo, and within days, not weeks, the legal pack is ready. Suddenly, you create momentum. Confidence is increased. Urgency is increased. And let's be honest, this is exactly what auctions do on every single sale. They front load the information. They create urgency and they remove delay. And there's something else to consider. Material information requirements. Today, you have a legal obligation to gather a lot of this information up front. So instead of seeing it as a burden, why don't you turn it into an advantage? You're going to have to get it anyway, so use it to speed up the transaction, build trust, differentiate your service. There are lots of service providers in this area that can support you to do this at very reasonable costs, and in some cases, no cost at all. This isn't really about conveyancing. It's about mindset. Most agents are reactive. They wait and then they respond. The best businesses prepare. They remove friction before it appears. So yes, conveyancing can be slow. There's no escaping that. But that's not the real issue. The real opportunity is what you do about it. Because when you take control, when you create momentum and get properties sale ready, you don't just improve transactions, you build a better business. While I've got your attention for a moment, I'd love to point you in the direction of my podcast, the Utterly Indispensable Podcast for Real Estate Agents. Look it up, have a look at it. I'm sure you'll find some more interesting stuff there.